Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day today. In today's video, I'm going to be creating a makeup look using the Ofra Cosmetics Good to Go Mini Mix palette. I got this from my Boxycharm premium box for the month of January. And this is what the palette looks like. Super beautiful. We have some nice mattes and shimmers. And of course, we have a bronzer. And then we have a blush and all these beautiful highlighters right here. But with this palette, you can totally mix and match. You don't have to just use the highlighters for highlight or the blush for blush. You can totally use them for all your face. But today I created this look right here. If you want to see how I created it, then definitely keep on watching. Okay guys, so here's a very quick swatch of the eyeshadows that you get in this palette, just so you can get an idea of how it looks on my skin. I wanted to show you guys the entire palette, so I am going to go in with a little bronzer, and I'm using my Shayna B Miami contour brush, and I'm dipping into that beautiful bronzer, and I'm just going to start bronzing my face. So I'm just going near my hairline just to make sure that my face looks nice and warm. And I'm just taking my time. I realize with this kind of palette that you really have to press the brush in, which is not bad. It just means that you get a more even application because it's not a super powdery formula. So go ahead and press your brush in. Now I'm just taking my brush kind of near my ear and going all the way down just to sort of sculpt out my cheeks a little bit. And the color is starting to build up. At first I thought that it wouldn't be pigmented enough, but it is. Then I'm going along my jawline, and then I'm kind of just sculpting out a little bit with some setting powder using my beauty sponge. And now I'm going to try out that beautiful blush that I really thought would not be pigmented, but I ended up loving. And this is sort of a very subtle mauve-y looking blush, and I'm just going to apply a little bit just to really see how versatile this palette is. And you can definitely build it up, of course, but for today, the way that it applied, I really did like it. Again, I like that this formula is not super powdery, but it is pigmented. It does build up. Now for highlight, I'm going to dip into that beautiful highlight that you see me picking right there. I really like icy white highlights, but I'm going to start with a light hand and then slowly build it up, and I love how this applied. I'm using a Luxie 522 tapered highlighter brush for this. Now I really love how subtle this applies, but you can totally build it up, which I like that. And then I'm going to just apply a little bit also to the bridge of my nose and the tip of it, and then a tiny bit along my jawline. And I really just wanted to bathe in this highlight because it's so beautiful, but this is the glow that I got, and I went with a really light hand, but I know that you can totally build it up. Okay guys, so now for eyeshadow, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyelids using the NYX eyeshadow base in the shade White. And I'm just going to use my finger to blend this all over my eyelids. Now I'm using a Luxie 205 tapered blending brush, and I'm going to dip into that beautiful matte brown shade. And I'm just going to buff this into my crease. I'm going to take my time sort of building it up. As I mentioned earlier, this formula is not super powdery, which honestly is very good because this allows you to be very precise with your application. So it's not super powdery. You don't get too much eyeshadow flying everywhere. So just take your time building it up, which I think is actually nice. And as you can see, it did start to build up, so I'm just using my brush to sort of pack the color in before I go in and perfect my application. But I did like how this eyeshadow applied, and the color overall is really pretty. Okay, so now that I'm satisfied, I'm gonna go ahead and fix my shape. So I'm just trying to create an outer V shape, and I'm sort of elongating it, making it a little bit longer and going a little bit higher, just to make sure that my eyeshadow doesn't get lost when I close my eyes. But now that I have enough pigment, I'm just going ahead to fix that shape. Now using my finger, I'm gonna dip into that beautiful sort of green teal shimmer, and this is such a beautiful, stunning shimmer, and I'm gonna apply this all over my eyelid. And I was really impressed with the application of the shimmer. It's extremely pigmented, but also applied very buttery and soft. Now I'm going in with the Luxie 211 concealer brush just to perfect the application of that shimmer all over my lids. And I like this brush because it's nice and flat, and it really helped to perfect that application. Then I'm going in with this crease brush from Morphe, and this is actually a Morphe M574 crease brush, and I'm going to dip into that beautiful sort of burgundy matte eyeshadow color, and I'm going to apply this to the outer corner of my eye, and I'm going to blend it upwards and into my crease. And I think this was the perfect shade for providing the dimension and contrast that I was looking for. And again, since it's not a super powdery formula, I didn't overdo it with my initial application. So I just slowly started to build it up and make sure that I have a nice contrast between my crease and my lid. And I totally loved it. I'm also sort of trying to marry the outer color together with the shimmer in the center lid, just to make sure that we have a nice and seamless transition between all the eyeshadows so that we don't have any rough lines. So I love how it looks so far, and I'm going in with that blending brush from earlier, and I'm just sort of going to clean around the edges of the shadow that I applied so that we have a nice and seamless application. Now using the flat brush from earlier that has some shimmer left over on it, I'm going to dip into that beautiful burgundy matte color, and I'm going to apply this to my lower lash line just because, I don't know, I'm just trying to see what color looks nice, and I liked it, but I needed something more. So I went in with that crease brush, and I first dipped into the burgundy shade and then the bronzer and sort of mixed them together and went ahead and kind of smoked it out a little bit, and I ended up liking how this applied. So I applied my eyeliner, and now I'm going in with this very small concealer brush from Morphe, and I'm going to dip into the highlighter that I used earlier right there, and I'm going to apply it to my inner corner and also underneath my brow bone, and then I'll be back to show you guys the final look. Okay guys, so this is how the look turned out. What do you guys think? I really do love it. I love it. I love the mix of colors up here. That shimmer was just screaming my name. This beautiful shimmer right here. Maybe I'll create a second tutorial with this palette. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Just a different look for every day, because I did that with the last palette, the Violet Voss palette, and I really like that. And it actually helped me to kind of open up my mind about the Violet Voss palette to create more than one look, to kind of see how versatile it is. So I would like to maybe do a second tutorial with this. But anyway, this is how the look turned out. I really liked it. I think that this palette performed really nicely. I love that I get highlighters. The blush really performed nicely as well. The bronzer, everything really worked out and I loved it. But anyway, I think that's the end of today's video. If you liked it, then go ahead and give it a big thumbs up for me. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, guys.